Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota, Cade Horton gets robbed, absolutely snubbed for Rookie of the Year. Plus, Kyle Hendricks retires, and we are talking not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 big trades that will blow your mind and why the Cubs should be laying the groundwork right now at the GM meetings. All roads lead to Roman on Tuesdays. Yes. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast driven by Toyota. Let's go places. It is Tuesday, which means Justin Roman is in the building for us. And, of course, Joey Christopolous. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. We have Sean Anderson running the ones and twos for you. If you're new to the podcast, where have you been?
Come on now. But welcome.
But welcome.
Take off your coat.
Please subscribe to the CHGO Cubs YouTube page. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger. And then tell the total stranger's neighbor. We have lots to talk about today. Cade Horton, we all thought he was going to be Rookie of the Year. He was the odds-on favorite in Vegas. Didn't happen.
Insane.
Instead, one of the Baldwin brothers picks up the award and is going home with the Golden Globe.
Alec, right?
I don't know. He's
Doug, the wide receiver on the Seahawks?
I don't even know who's who anymore. Billy, I don't know which one Billy is. But one of the Baldwin brothers won the award. Right. We have a Cubs great, dare I say, retiring. And we'll see where he ranks in a little category I built up. And then, Joey's been waiting to do this. 5 trades that are probably unrealistic, but should be realistic. And at least the guy's been mentioned as possibly available.
Right.
Okay?
Like
is that a fair way to...
Yeah, like it's not quite... It's borderline based in reality. The things that may or may not happen.
Right.
But as a Cubs fan, what am I thinking about when I go to sleep at night? Who would I love to see on the Chicago Cubs? And frankly, the fact that we could also have the conversation of the fact that it's unrealistic. Why is it unrealistic? Because of our Cubs fandom saying, oh, the Cubs would never do this, or the other team would simply say no. We're going to walk through that exercise.
It's a semi-realistic wish list because we're not getting Ohtani. So he's not going to be mentioned, right? It's it's a kind,
not that crazy.
It's not that crazy, but it's just a wish, a kind of a less crazy wish list.
That's fair. That's fair. It's like when
delusion.
When I was a little kid, we would get like the Sears catalog around Christmas time, and I'd start flipping through and I'd circle this. I want this. I want this toy. I want the full basketball hoop. And then I would want the full NFL uniform for a player. I never got any of it.
No, nothing.
No, nothing. Usually,
but you can still ask.
I think my parents all looked at it and were like, "This is ridiculous."
But you can still ask.
This is what you're getting, and you'll like it, and you'll like it fine.
Was Luke a bad boy, and then Santa didn't deliver that
No,
stuff?
I never got coal.
No?
I never got
All
coal.
right.
I got a lot of good stuff. It was never. I don't think from that catalog though. It was like somebody would get it somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
Or there was something. Maybe there was. Maybe I got like a Connect 4 off that or
great
something
game,
like
by
that.
the way.
Great game.
Yeah.
Battleship
Game
was
of
okay,
Champions.
but that's changed too much. Yeah, Game of Champions. Anyways, so here we are. And we're waiting for Rookie of the Year. And because Vegas said it was going to happen, I just assumed it was going to happen. And then Drake Baldwin wins National League Rookie of the Year. It was Cade Horton looking to be the first Cub to win Rookie of the Year since Chris Bryant. And then before that, we decided it was Soto, right?
Yep. Giovanni Soto.
Yes.
And then Kerry Wood.
Kerry Wood was in there.
And then Jerome Walton before that.
Yeah. So there's a stretch there where we haven't had Rookie of the Year. Now the Braves have had plenty of them. The Dodgers have had way too many of them.
They had 6 in a row in the 90s. Yeah.
So Drake Baldwin, listen, I'm not saying he didn't have a nice season. What did he hit? 19 home runs after being called up.
Right, at like 274.
Very nice. Very nice. So he had like 7 more homers than Matt Shaw.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? I don't want to let this bother me. It's like when we talked about the platinum glove thing. The Platinum Glove thing's even worse because that's just fans voting, and we let fans in San Diego have a better voice than Cubs fans. This is Baseball Writers of America, as I like to call them, the Geek Squad.
Right.
They don't like that, but I have always called the Geek Squad, the Geek Scribes. And
you say it to them from a convertible with your shades on as you peel out of the parking lot. But that's
right.
a story for another time.
That's right. I used to walk by with my credential and be like, "Hey, Geek Squad,
Geek
what's
Squad."
up?" I like 99% of the writers.
Okay. I don't like 1% of them, and I'll tell you in a little bit.
I know. I don't know who she necessarily is. I don't know why she would have voted this. But if you have a vote in this, and you're not going to even put Cade Horton on your ballot.
In a top 5.
What are you talking about?
If you had 5 rookies to name in the National League to vote for, and Cade Horton's not even on your top 5 list, what are we doing here? I mean, like, do you have some kind of like personal vendetta against Cade Horton? And then she put Matt Shaw in there, so you don't hate the Cubs. But I saw a tweet somewhere, maybe you guys can back me up on this, that she went to the same school that Matt Shaw went to. So that was kind of like a connection there. And maybe she thought because she gave Cubs they threw the Cubs a bone here, we're not going to vote. But bottom line is, it's almost like you had a personal vendetta against Cade Horton, because to not be even on your top 5 is insane. Insane.
I don't know how it couldn't be that. I don't want to totally judge this reporter. I'm not even a namer. I don't know how. I don't want to judge, but at the same time, even if you're not watching, even if you're not paying attention, and you just have this Geek Squad card, couldn't you look at some stats and be like, okay, and Vegas is telling me these are the most likely guys? Like, how did you forget who Cade Horton was, or what don't you like about the guy? Like, it doesn't seem to make sense. In the second half, Cade Horton had an ERA of basically 1.
The best pitcher in baseball for the second half of the season.
That's right. And he wasn't here the whole season. He was called up because they needed him. And then I would suggest that they're in the NLCS if the guy doesn't get hurt. That's not his fault.
He carried the pitching staff from literally when he came up and carried us to the postseason. Now, it stinks he couldn't pitch in the postseason, but that you don't judge it on that. You judge it on a regular season.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did Baldwin play in the postseason?
No.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. His team didn't even make the postseason.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Cade Horton
did not qualify.
Carried a pitching staff into the playoffs.
Now I'm getting mad.
And you should be mad because I'm mad about it. And again, I tweeted about this earlier. We can discuss all day. Should it have been Baldwin, Horton? I think without a doubt it should be Horton. But I'm not even talking about that right now. Right now I'm talking about a voting member not even putting Cade Horton in her top 5. That's insane. And I don't know. I'm trying to filter myself a little bit here.
I think what's going to be difficult about it, and look, like, okay, I'm with you guys. I share the same anger, and I'll be honest with you, I did peruse the Twitter page of this reporter yesterday. She seems like she's got a great sense of humor, and like
it could have been a brain fart. We don't know.
Here's the thing. This is
a little bit of responsibility.
I know, and with social media right now, it's almost like I get it. Like, we're all just sitting here saying that she was wrong. I don't want people to take it another step and like her receiving messages or something like that and getting some sort of weird vitriol going on, because she seems like a very normal person. But the only thing that I will say is that 2 things, and let's just keep it really fundamental, because we could dive into the stats all we want to, but it's a catcher versus a pitcher. It's hard to have that conversation. The first one is, shout out to Drake Baldwin. Like, with the one stat that I did like, he had a slug over 500 against fastball and breaking ball. So it wasn't like he had one thing or the other. He did well, and his percentiles were above 70%. But just ask yourself this question. Was Drake Baldwin a Silver Slugger finalist at the catching position in the National League? He was not. Is Cade Horton going to receive any Cy Young votes? I'm not saying he's going to win, but if he receives anywhere between a 4th or 5th Cy Young vote for the best pitcher in the National League, when we're talking about awards and accomplishments and recognition, I think that's going to come to fruition, and it's going to further prove that this reporter was wrong with her vote. And I don't know if one vote really tipped the scales. I mean, it seemed to be pretty close, but it did. It is strange that he didn't even make the ballot, and Matt Shaw was 3rd.
It's weird. It reeks of weird.
And it comes back to the situation of when guys go to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Of the whole, like, Derek Jeter can't be the 100%.
Suzuki couldn't be 100%.
Yeah. Someone has to say they're not they're not allowed to be the first ballot out of
Yes.
something that is either rooted in pride or some sort of bias or prejudice from other different part of a process that has nothing to do with the individual player. That's what sticks out. That's what's strange about it. I don't know if it cost Cade Horton the Rookie of the Year because I saw other people vote for Baldwin too as well. But I just think, end of the day, Cade Horton's going to get Cy Young votes, and that's what makes this feel wrong to me.
Right. I don't have a problem. Chef Kevin is saying lots of people had Baldwin winning the award. Horton didn't pitch enough innings. The award covers the whole year, not just the second half. I don't have a problem with people choosing Baldwin over Horton. I don't agree with it, but I don't have a problem with it.
But it should have been those two.
But it should have only been those two.
Right.
And to not have somebody in the top 5, that is absurd.
Yes.
Like that doesn't make sense.
And I thought
you weren't watching baseball right now. If the Braves came to you and said we'd take Cade Horton for Baldwin,
Right.
Would you take it? No, I actually would not.
Would you take Isaac Collins for Cade Horton? And Collins got the 5th place vote on that particular.
I thought maybe, here's what I thought before I knew who she was. I thought, okay, is this a sports writer from Atlanta trying to make Baldwin
or
win?
St. Louis or Milwaukee?
Right. And it wasn't.
No.
So I don't understand the bias here. Like it's again, and she's probably a great person. I'm not attacking her on a human level at all. But all I'm speaking about is the vote, and it should have been between Horton and Baldwin. Again, I think all three of us think it's Horton, but okay, fine, Baldwin wins. I'm not complaining about that. A sports writer not put Horton in her top 5 is inexcusable.
Right. It's all the extra points that didn't happen there.
Yes.
I don't know that makes a difference. And we could pick the brain of everybody. I know what you're saying, first place. Chef Kevin, I'm not saying it was a landslide vote. We're questioning how one person could leave him out of the top 5.
That's crazy.
And one guy almost single-handedly took his team to the postseason. And by the way, they did go to the postseason. The other guy did not.
The Braves are horrible.
And you brought up.
So doesn't it matter if you play on a good team?
That's the thing. Yeah, you're bringing up the perfect point of like, this is the human element of when we talk about the MVP, which is the most important award really in any sport because they hand it out in every single sport.
Right.
That always gets mixed into the ingredients of whether that person deserves the award is did their team win or not.
Right.
Where all of a sudden now we're saying that Rookie of the Year is separate and different where it only now highlights the individual of the player. Now, I think maybe that's because of our past biases of usually Rookies of the Year are usually on teams that are bad because those are the guys with the high draft picks. Those are the guys that are more, those are the teams that are more often playing young players for large chunks of the season.
True.
But it is undeniable to Justin, what you talked about of how Cade Horton, I don't think, and this is the part that as Cubs fans, we understand this, but could you honestly say that if we didn't have Cade Horton pitching at the level that he was pitching at, are you positive we're making the playoffs?
No.
We don't
Are
make
you
playoffs.
100% sure?
We don't make
Cubs
it.
are not making
Are we
it.
winning 92 games?
No.
No.
So that's
stepped
where we
in.
are. That's where we are as Cubs fans.
Yes.
Of there are numbers. There's the peripherals. There's the stats. There's the geek squad. There's all that stuff, and then also there's the wins that should have given Cade Horton maybe more than what the 70% first place votes that Drake Baldwin got. That would be the argument that I would make.
I sent you guys a side by side of Jacob deGrom winning the Rookie of the Year and Cade Horton not winning, but like his stats Rookie year. And Cade Horton's stats were actually like in some ways better.
Same innings.
Yeah.
144 in innings. DeGrom had more Ks, I think.
But Horton was 11-4. And,
yeah,
I mean,
Whip
like,
was the same.
So like, I mean, you're talking about like it's not about the fact of like he didn't pitch enough innings. Well, DeGrom pitched the same amount of innings and he won the Rookie of the Year. And again, I want to reiterate this. I am kind of mad that Horton got robbed, but like what's frustrating me even more is the system that we have, and then some rogue writer could just like not vote for Cade Horton because she didn't feel like it. That's the issue that I have, and I will never get the answer, I'm sure, but that's my problem.
I texted a couple of people that have votes in this, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't even say like who did you pick, because they get very sensitive about that stuff. I just said, how could somebody not have him in the top 5?
Yeah.
Both responses were, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's inexcusable.
Like, I don't know about that.
And it's
like
an
what?
It's an MLB.com writer too. It's not like somebody from like a newspaper in Des Moines. I mean, and props to Des Moines, but like it's an MLB.com writer.
I feel like I have to play devil's advocate at this point. Maybe we should take a break and then just do this after the break.
Devil on the other side?
Well, for the large part, when you look at the WAR totals, there are 4 players that are better them, and the one that's like iffy is the first baseman for the Marlins, Marcy versus Horton. Those have a similar WAR number. Like, I could kind of see the argument to leave Horton completely off in a way. I think the issue is like, did Marcy play enough games? He played only 55 games, where, you have
that's not enough.
Horton. Yeah, but also he put up 2 WAR. He also was like a 292 hitter with like a 132 OPS plus.
Is Sean's mic working? Can anybody hear what he says? We'll be right back on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by our friends at Toyota.
Hey, Cubs fans, do you know that Toyota right now has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive? They've got the RAV4, legendary versatility. They've got the Grand Highlanders, adult-sized third row. It's for real. And Luke, do you have a wild side?
Oh, I do.
Well, the Tacoma's for you, my friend, because their wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites to game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Toyota is going to get you there in style. So find yours at toyota.com or visit your Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And ladies and gentlemen, what a perfect time it is to become a CHGO diehard and upgrade your fandom today. You get access to an exclusive written content. There's a $36 diehard offer right now. That's the John's deal if you want to get into that. And when you become a diehard, you get a free t-shirt, you get access to our merch and events, and access to our CHGO Discord lounge where we all just hang out and talk sports. So allchgo.com, that's the place to go. That's the place to sign up. Sign up today and join the thousands, and we can't wait to connect with you on an even greater level.
Mando whole body deodorant, safe to use anywhere on your body. That's Bits, pits, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, and stanky feet. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO is being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block odor all day and control your stink for 72 hours. Baking soda free, paraben free. Listen to these scents: Pro Sport, Mount Fuji, Clover Woods, and bourbon leather.
All right.
Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash, deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Special offer for our listeners, new customers, 20% off site-wide with the exclusive code CHGO. Shop Mando.com. Please tell them we sent you with our stanky feet that went away. Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by our friends at Toyota. It is a Tuesday with Roman. Cade Horton finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting. All said and done, it won't matter in my life. I feel bad for him. Like Giovanni Soto was a Rookie of the Year. I hope that Cade Horton goes on for an even longer and better and prestigious career.
It does affect the Cubs, though.
Sure.
Because first or second place, now Cade Horton will be a free agent 1 year earlier.
The service time, they wouldn't have gotten a draft pick either way. We went through this a couple weeks ago. It has to do with like a bunch of different factors. It didn't impact them that way. Like they didn't get the compensation because he wasn't on the team within the first 8 days of the season or something like that. So that part of it wouldn't have happened. I feel bad for anybody that doesn't win an award if they care about it. Rookie of the Year is generally one that a player would care about.
Second half, Baldwin versus Shaw. You brought this up. 63 games for Shaw, 59 for Baldwin. Both put up 1.5 FWAR. Baldwin 120 weighted runs created plus. Shaw, I think that says 130, 258, 317, 522 slash line for Shaw. Baldwin 270, 332, 460.
So for half of the season, he wasn't better than Matt Shaw.
No.
Okay.
No, but he was better in the first half.
Of course he was.
So they were even in the second half.
Of course he was, but I'm saying I wouldn't even consider Matt Shaw in the conversation with what Cade Horton did in his rookie season.
Same. Yeah, I mean, and Matt Shaw was phenomenal after the break. Cade Horton came up before the break. So we kept saying second half, but really it's more than the second half for Cade Horton. Matt
Shaw was good in the second half of the season.
Yes.
Cade Horton
was ace-like.
The best pitcher in baseball in the second half of the season. What are we talking about?
Yeah, he was out dueling Paul Skeens, and there was running graphics of what he was on. He had a Jake Arrieta type run. I mean, and this is funny, and this is what makes sports kind of fun, right? Because you have Jacob Mizorowski making an all-star game, with a very small sample size of starts.
Crazy.
But they put him in the game because they recognized talent that maybe went beyond the stat sheet. Right. And I think our argument right here is that, yes, Drake Baldwin was on the field more often and was able to probably accumulate better numbers, especially in the F4 category. I think we would contend that impact alone and the type of run that Cade Horton went on deserves its own version of recognition. But again, that's Chicago Cubs fans talking. It's not easy to always, I'm sure the Atlanta Braves would have a compelling argument about how Drake Baldwin helped them keep afloat and win the 70 whatever games that they won. And I hope that he has a great career. But no, I mean, we're backing Cade Horton 100%.
All right, let's move on to what's going on this week. The GM meetings in Vegas, where GMs and probably some Jed Hoyers of the world are out there just kind of floating out ideas. A lot of times this has nothing to do with actually a deal getting done right now, but they're out there laying the groundwork for deals that potentially could get done during the winter meetings or after the winter meetings. And then even later than that sometimes. But the initial conversations a lot of times will go all the way back to this. It's the first time these teams sometimes revisit things that were mentioned at a trade deadline and are just continued on. Or it's a totally new idea because you're trying to change things up after a postseason that disappointed you or excited you, whatever. So we thought, all right, let's come up with some names that are maybe not totally reasonable, but they're not all fantasy because there's either been a note out there floated around from the organization that we'd listen to offers, or we're open to that. There's something going on with the player's contract, or this team has financial troubles. So let's go through I just started peppering out names, right? And then I think we'll do a little good, better, best later. I think everybody would agree that Skubal is a name that because of what's going on with the Tigers, and they don't think that he's probably a $400 million pitcher. He's probably the best pitcher in baseball, almost certainly, if it's not Skeens. If this is his last year, can the Tigers afford to just let him walk? If they're not going to give him the $400 million, or if he wants to go somewhere else, even though they were a playoff team, can they afford to not let him walk? He's got to be on the list. This is why we're headed probably to a work stoppage. First of all, it shouldn't even be a consideration for the Tigers that they're not going to keep him. Right. They should be like, hey, man, we're not worried about that because we know we're going to pay more than anybody else, right? Because he's their guy. They developed him. Yes. That also said is every team in Major League Baseball should be calling the Tigers right now saying, hey, what the heck? What would it take? What would it take? I guarantee you that's not happening either because some teams, no shot would we do that. So how bad would it have to get to be for Skubal to be a Cub? Like, how bad would that hurt?
Well, let me ask you guys, okay? So obviously every team in baseball, including us, would love to have one of the best pitchers in baseball heading up your rotation, right? Are you willing to pay that price of losing some major prospects or young players on the team already for 1 year of Skubal? Like, are you willing to do that? Because, I mean, yeah, we all want him for sure. Are you willing to go through the pain of what it's going to take to get him on the north side?
For instance, like a Tucker deal.
I think it's more than Tucker.
Oh, no, he's going to cost more than Tucker for sure. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, in that kind of going into it, they're not going to give him the $400 million.
Right.
So we're going to have to give more prospects.
Yes.
But it's just for a 1 year shot at making a run with Skubal. And I can't even say Horton because in my eyes, they would demand Horton.
Right. You're talking about Horton and or Shaw and then
keep going.
I mean Casey.
Keep going.
Well, I mean,
keep going.
So my question,
keep
Joey,
going.
my question to you then, we all agree we would like to have Skubal. Are you willing to give the Tigers what they're going to ask for, or at least what they're going to end up with, and gutting our top, I don't know, 4
not for 1 year
dudes?
Well, yes, so that's the thing is for the 1 year to do that, like this is what makes I feel like the Kyle Tucker deal a little bit different, where they were able to move major league talent off the roster, so that's money off the major league roster, including Cam Smith, who's was one of our top prospects at the time.
And that's the only one that's going to hurt was Cam Smith.
And what you're discussing and what we're agreeing on is it would take probably 4, 5, 6 pieces. There is no way it would be malpractice to not do that without also not saying we're going to give that guy a $400 million deal, right? It'd be a massive tectonic plate shifting type of move for not just the National League Central, but the National League in general. Yeah. But I, as a Cubs fan, I would still want it. I would still want it. I would still want one of the best guys in the game because, you know, and before anyone says this is unrealistic or just stop, this is a dumb conversation. It's not stupid, and don't do Ricketts work for him. So do me a favor here, because this is a tale as old as time, Luke, and you outlined it. A mid-market team with an incredible superstar that is at the top of his game, at the peak of his powers for at least next 2 or 3 years, and a larger market team with deeper pockets comes along and brings him over into the spotlight, and they both take off and they ride off into the sunset, into the World Series sunset, or at least high-end success for the next couple of years. Now, I'm not saying that this is likely, but the fact that the Chicago Cubs can't even entertain this kind of conversation feels wrong to me because, as you would say, they're the Chicago freaking Cubs. Yeah. They should have conversations on anybody that could possibly be available on the market. And for me, Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens are probably the only 2 pitchers right now in baseball that I would buy $400 million in on. But I would spend that money in on both those players.
I'm good. In a year from now, after the work stoppage, $500 million, whatever it is, I'm not against the money. Yeah. I'm saying, though, are you willing to trade Cade Horton plus for 1 year of Skubal with no guarantee?
No,
because that's what I'm saying, right?
Are you willing to trade Jackson Wiggins and Matt Shaw for 1 year?
Just those two?
I don't know. And other names that you're just not going to get all freaked out about. But like if the big names are Jackson Wiggins, your top pitching prospect, and Matt Shaw, your third baseman who just hit 12 home runs. Yeah. And had a second half that was as good as a guy that just won Rookie of the Year. Yeah. If those are the 2 headliners, and it's just a 1 year rental, and they say, you know what, we need pitching back for just this year, give us what's left of Matthew Boyd on his deal, and now you got 3 pieces in there, and they can look at themselves and say, well, we're still competitive in that division with Matthew Boyd on the mound, and now you've added Jackson Wiggins. Now we have a cheap pitcher moving forward, and you just gave us a third baseman that it's going to be under control for a long time. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty good for 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit would love that probably, right? But I would think that, man, you gave up Cam Smith, and now you're going to give up Matt Shaw.
It's another thing you got to replace.
You know, I mean, Bregman's out there. I would say for me, Cade Horton is a no, because you're bringing Skubal in to pair up with someone like Horton. If you're just kind of swapping the two, it's a 1 year phenomenal pitcher for some young kid's 6 years career, first years of his career. That for me is a no.
Yeah, and if you're a Cubs fan, just ask yourself the question: how close do you think you are? And I think we're pretty dang close.
I agree.
And there was a time coming up with a 10-year anniversary where we traded Aroldis Chapman for Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres made an all-star game last year. I don't think there's a single Cubs fan out there that would regret that trade or veto that trade to bring Aroldis Chapman over. Right, for sure. And that was a 1 year. If you're telling me Tarek Skubal, who I think is a better player, younger player, at the peak of his powers, where Aroldis Chapman, I think, was, but maybe starting to begin a different phase of his career. Yeah. It's a no-brainer to me. I'm sorry. It's just like Matt Shaw and Jackson Wiggins. If that was the deal, I mean, I wouldn't do it if I was Detroit.
Yeah, but which I think Detroit was going to want more
I'd run to the bank. Yeah, no, I think it would have to have Cade Horton involved because.
So what'd you do with Horton?
Yep.
You would?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. If it was, no one has said, no, and I don't, and we're just talking about him getting in the whole Rookie of the Year thing. No one has said yet that Cade Horton can get through a full season healthy, all right?
Well, and then
so let's not
you said
pretend
Cade Horton for Skubal straight up.
Yes.
Oh,
my God.
Yeah, because you'd be better next year.
You even brought up the fact that with Horton finishing second, he lost a year of service time.
He did.
Now the Cubs have 1 year less of Horton. 1 year
less of Horton, for sure. Good point. But still, you still have, 5 years of Horton? I mean, you're not losing him next year. I mean, for me, the temptation of having Skubal is for me to pair with someone like Horton.
Yeah.
Swapping those two, I mean, sure, you're better, but for one, man,
and maybe that would be the ideal. Maybe it puts you into the same situation you were with Tucker. you get a good look at the guy to decide what money number you really think he's worth.
Yeah.
In that offseason. Okay, we got to.
Well, hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Just but with that though, because I hate the Tucker move. Now that they're not going to sign him and even entertain that, so you are going to give up Kyle Tucker and Tariq Skubal for the chances to not even win World Series and just give away Cam Smith. I know Wisniewski's not a big thing, but Paredes, and then Horton, Shaw, etc. Like that does seem like I'm kind of with
for 1 year
with Penner, where 2 year,
a lot.
well, 2 1-year rentals in a row would be.
And I know we got to break, but really quick,
work.
like if I could assuage you this way, where let's just say if it is Horton for Tariq Skubal, that means that the package going back for Skubal is going to be less. You then can take whatever is remaining over that and package that in a trade and get yourself another number 2 starter a different way. Or oh yeah, that's right, just spend money.
All right, most of the people I have on this list are pitchers. There are some position players. We'll go through the list in just a second. Would you be willing to give up the whole farm system for Skubal? Let us know in the chat. But first, a word from our sponsors on the CHGO Cubs podcast. Hey, everybody, it's Blackhawks and Bulls season on Chicago Sports Network. Visit chsn.com/podcast to sign up for your free 7-day trial of All Access, which gives you over 300 live games per year. Catch every basket, every goal from your mobile device, television, and wherever you want to watch. CHSN is your home for the Blackhawks and Bulls all season. Chicago Sports Network, your home stream advantage. CHSN, also available on Xfinity, DirecTV Stream, and Fubo. Visit CHSN for more details and tell them Chuck Garfien and Pat Boyle sent you.
Hoops and hockey, baby. And look, I got to ask you guys a question here. When you talk about hats, what's your game, right? Is it a snapback? Is it a trucker? Is it a fitted? A beanie? Well, whatever it is, Branded Bills, they've got you covered with style. And we have some selections right here in the office to talk about right here. So if you're looking for some gear to stand out apart from the crowd, Branded Bills has got you covered with the best custom headwear in the business. So you could start your order today. And their dedicated team will help you create the custom apparel that you need. And that's right. Oh, yeah. Are you a Big Ten fan? I don't know. Maybe I host also the Big Ten football podcast here.
Brags, look at that IU hat.
Oh, well. We got Maryland. We got Iowa. We got USC. We got Michigan State. Okay, we got Penn State, but it's still a beautiful hat in Ohio State. And look at these on the back right here. They're absolutely amazing. You can wear them on the golf course, keep your head ventilated, wear your Mando, get your Brandon Bills on. They have a partnership right now with over 40 colleges and all these Big Ten schools. So here's what you got to do. If you head over to brandonbills.com right now, you got to use the code BBCHGO because here's what will happen. You'll get 15% off your first purchase at brandonbills.com. Remember, that's brandonbills.com. Use the code BBCHGO, and you'll get 15% off your first purchase. Luke Stuckmeyer, a man of many hats.
Looking at 5, maybe, dream scenario trades that hopefully Jed and Carter are laying the groundwork for at the GM meetings this week in Las Vegas. We talked about Tariq Skubal. He is the white whale out there. Like you're casting out for the white whale. That's going to take a lot. There's no question. And we should preface this by saying we understand that if you're saying if we're going to rank these good, better, best, never let it rest, you have to take into account what it's going to cost on the other side, which is what we were talking about Skubal. Skubal is the best player on this list. Nobody's going to argue that. Like he's the best pitcher on the list. He's the best player on the list. Would the price tag be too much that he's not your best or your never let it rest? We'll see about that. Other names, here's the other pitchers I threw out there. Tell me if I'm missing somebody that's been rumored or suspected or actually mentioned by their coach or manager or general manager. Joe Ryan of the Twins.
I like it.
Same.
Love it. Mackenzie Gore.
Talked about him.
Yep. Mitch Keller. Pablo Lopez, Sandy Alcantara, Edward Cabrera, and now the position players I came up with. I can only come up with 3 that I've heard in the last couple weeks. Well, one isn't mentioned. Luis Robert. I just think the Sox are finally going to eventually move on from Luis Robert. Is he a guy that if he starts off well, you maybe not this offseason, but you could be laying the groundwork early with the Sox saying, hey, if he gets off to a hot start, maybe that is a move that we would want to make. Bryce Harper, we've had all this stuff. Bryce Harper's mad. Is he on the downturn? He's still a lot of money, but he also carries star power. And then the one that Bob Nightingale threw out like a piece of candy to kids at Halloween, tried to reel us all in, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Man.
Okay? Do you want to skip
Platinum glove winning Fernando Tatis Jr.?
Do you want to skip all the others and get to Tatis or save him for the good, better, best? You want to just go right to good, better, best? How do you want to do it?
I have two names I want to add to that list.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's
even better.
I got two sneaky ones.
Throw the pool.
That because again, we were kind of dabbling in the gray area of realistic and unrealistic.
Yes.
But sometimes big market teams, when they need a pick me up, when they need a little pep in my step, what better way than to turn our eyes to the West Coast, to the old pantry, the old Athletics Sacramento A's pantry. And there's two guys on this team that we've talked about in terms of outfield, DH spot that I'd be interested in. I've talked with Sean about these guys before. One of them's a little bit older and more proven. The other one's younger, coming off a great season. I would be interested in going to the A's and asking them, what would it take for Tyler Soderstrom or Brent Rooker? Brent Rooker, 31 years old, 30 home runs each of his last 3 seasons on a 5-year deal right now.
He signed up
for 5 year for $60 million. Okay. That sounds like money that the Cubs would be interested in paying. Again, 31 years old, but right-handed power hitter. DH right now. He's like if the Alonso fell through. If the Kyle Schwarber fell through.
If you think Seiya might be gone in a year.
If you don't want to bring Seiya back and you want to see what you're going to get from Owen Casey out there in right field, Brent Rooker, I think, is a great solution. Soderstrom is 23 years old, hit 35 home runs last year. I don't know. That's probably going to be a little bit pricier.
Right.
But again, corner outfield guy, can play a little bit of first base, but honestly, he's more of an outfield dude. That's the outside the box ones that I was thinking of that I'd be interested in.
I think all along I've said I think the Cubs are going to sign a free agent pitcher, which I still think Dylan Cease. And Nightingale also name-checked him as well. So I was like, all right. But on that list that you read, Luke, of the pitchers, I could see the Cubs also packaging some minor league talent to grab Sandy Alcantara or Cabrera or whoever else. I think they're going to sign
Keller, Gore, Ryan.
I think they're going to sign one outright for agency. I think they're going to trade for one as well. So I do think that's realistic. The thing that I find very interesting is Bryce Harper. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, but like he's come out and said that he was mad about those comments from his president, right? Like, is he disgruntled enough where he's going to demand a trade or want to be out, or are they motivated to move him? Whatever. Like, he's somebody that I wouldn't say no to either. I know that there's big money there, but it's not big money like Kyle Tucker big money. And he is a superstar, and there is something there's a swag to his name that, okay, if Tucker's gone, putting Bryce Harper on your DH spot isn't the worst thing in the world. So those are the kind of the names that stick out to me.
And if I can add to that just really quick, in our window of what we're trying to do in the next 2 or 3 years with the core that we have, that swag that you just mentioned, you can't tell me that Bryce Harper wouldn't be incredibly motivated to be in Wrigley Field at least the next couple of years. You could talk about diminishing skills, but you would think that he would have a laser focus on trying to at least be a monster offensively for the next at least 2 years of that deal. And maybe it wouldn't cost as much because obviously we'd have to eat more money.
Yes.
I wonder if his dog Wrigley is still kicking.
I hope so.
I hope so. Otherwise,
for many reasons, I hope so. I just love dogs.
Right.
Yeah, I hope he's okay no matter what.
It was a while ago, Yeah,
right.
All right. So Skubal, Ryan, Gore, Keller, Lopez, Alcantara, Cabrera, Tatis, Roberts, Harper. How many of those will actually get traded this offseason? Not at the trade deadline. How many of those do you think will actually get moved? And Soderstrom and Rooker.
Yeah,
we'll add them to the list.
I want to throw them to the list for sure.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 12. It's like 12 guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the 12, how many will get actually moved this offseason?
This offseason.
Yeah. If I will say Roberts, no. I'll say Harper, no. I'll say Tatis, no.
Right.
I think Cabrera is probably a no. I think Mackenzie Gore is probably a no. I think Joe Ryan is a no, and I think Skubal.
I was going to say AL Central Maven Sean. Where are you on Joe Ryan and the Twins? Do you think he was like the one guy that survived the deadline for them?
Yeah.
I was mostly just trying to play the good, better, best clip. I thought Luke was going into that. The Twins are a broke franchise. They're I can't actually say that word. They're extremely broke and pathetic. So I think they're just looking off to move off of anyone that has significant money.
So reasonable, rational, realistic that they'd get. He could move.
But the problem with this is that I feel like these teams are going to be less motivated to trade in the offseason versus the deadline, right? So like I think a lot of these guys getting traded, But I wonder if like the Marlins are like, you know what, we'll get more from at the deadline. But then again, this past deadline,
that guy could
no
get
one really
hurt.
moved.
Don't do it,
That guy
Jed.
gets hurt.
I could see the Marlins being like that, but the Twins and Padres specifically, it seems like a budget issue where they need to get under a number before the season. That's why I think Ryan, Lopez, even Tatis. I mean, Bob just bringing up that randomly
Having a
is
hard
weird.
time, Minnesota. We can take your Joe Ryan for you. It's okay. Come on, Joe. Get in the car. Get in the car, Joe.
Okay, so we got these 12 guys. Now we need to put them into a category.
Okay.
And I think only the great Ben Johnson could give us the framework of what we're looking to do, Sean.
Psych, it's Billy Williams.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest until the good is better and the better is best.
So he invented that, correct?
No.
It's actually from
It's all debatable.
the 1300s. The more we kind of stretch back on it and peel away the layers of where this phrase is coming from,
Yes.
Okay.
it's
Boy,
from the 1300s.
People on the internet got all crazy about it. When listen, first of all, I didn't come up with the link to Billy Williams in 87.
Right.
Tom Scher, who was at Channel 5 and all over town for a long time, Tom Scher was calling Speegs and Lawrence Holmes, and they talked about it on their show.
Okay.
And now they're trying to figure out how far did it go back. You know, Ben Johnson said it came from his high school football team. Well, Billy Williams gave the speech in 87. Did his coach, was he a Billy Williams fan? Did that just happen? Then people are like, no, it was St. Jerome. all over the place,
Right,
okay?
right.
First credit goes to Tom Scher.
Okay.
Second credit goes to Speegs and Holmes.
Yeah.
After that, I don't know. I don't know where it came. Maybe a caveman carved it into
But like,
the wall.
I am. Go ahead, Sean.
No, yeah, someone in 2016 looked up the St. Jerome thing too, because like they were just wondering where it came from. The saying itself, this is from the article, the saying itself has been around forever, relatively speaking. The Dictionary of Modern Proverbs has a citation from 1904, not to St. Jerome, but Google Books found it for me in Christian Work Illustrated Family Newspaper, volume 62, page 195, published in 1897, and it was given there in a form that makes me think it was a well-known saying at the time.
Interesting.
Okay.
1800s.
Can't you see
this
Caesar?
is like
Good, better.
I love I love Mothman and aliens and ghosts. This is like right up my alley.
Okay.
And the fact that Ben Johnson is using a phrase that not only one of a legendary Hall of Fame Cub has used in Hall of Fame speech, and it has all these weird Chicago generational ties.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Ben Johnson's going to win the Bears a Super Bowl one day. It's just like, it's just based on that
This
one
year.
fact. Like,
This
I'm
year.
just like fascinated.
I'll tell you what I don't like about good, better, best, and this is the last thing I'm going to say related to the Bears at all on this podcast. Could Kevin Warren not be in the background of every shot, screaming it as if he's he just made a tackle like a linebacker?
Yeah.
Can we simmer on Poles and Warren in the background, chanting it like they just stopped somebody at the goal line?
Poles has been reasonable, but yeah, like it's can we
on.
just like
He's
flip?
in the-
Can we flip the shot a little bit and do the players instead of?
Warren is in the back of every one of these shots, screaming it like he's a high schooler in the huddle. Anyways, all right. So good, better, best.
Okay.
Which one is a good trade? Which one is a better trade? Then the best trade, and which is the trade they should never let it rest until it gets done.
Just to clarify how we're doing
Or
this.
however you want it.
Are we like the one we want the most, or the one that's more realistic to happen? Like how are we categorizing this?
Well,
Whatever you wanna do.
for me, let's start here. Like for
There's
good,
no rules.
Like good for me would be Mitch Keller on your list. Like good is
Okay,
I'm
so
happy with that.
If it happened, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's good. But there's one that'd be better, right?
So do we have to put a baseline of, first of all, it has to be a trade that's palatable
Right.
and equal to the value of that player. Okay, so
good
It's not-
example. Mitch Keller, good example.
Mitch Keller's
it's a good trade. I would be very happy to have
Solid.
Mitch Keller. in our
adding
conversation.
Mitch Keller would be good.
Yes, agreed.
now better,
Now he's under control through 28.
right?
So that's somebody under
I
control
like
for
him too,
quite
by
a
the way.
bit.
I've always liked him.
I don't know that he's your ace.
No, but I mean,
But you could sign an ace and add Keller. If you added Keller and Cease in an offseason and you gave up some prospect capital and all of a sudden you had Steele and you still had Boyd and
you have Horton.
you have Horton, but Shota slips away. Does it make you better? Way better.
Absolutely.
Way
Yes,
better. Okay. So we all agree that's a good.
I think that'd be a
Mitch
good.
Keller would be a good.
Yes.
Who would be better?
That.
Or do you want to work your way back? from never let it rest because I don't want to forget somebody. I think we just go in order. Good would be Mitch Keller.
The better for me would be the Alcantara.
We're not saying
the Sandy Alcantara getting a little bit better here.
A little sexier. It's a little sexier than Mitch Keller.
And forgive me, there's one that I also wanted to throw out that I didn't before. A better would also be, I'm still intrigued by an Adley Rutschman type trade.
Yeah.
A couple years left before he hits arbitration.
That's 13 players.
Sam Basayo is their catcher in Baltimore. They're very left-handed dominant. And if you were just to say, hey, would you be interested in 1 year of Seiya Suzuki in Baltimore, who's trying to save money and not sign a long-term deal with prospect capital? Would you be interested in moving off of Adley Rutschman?
That's
Sean?
a team you give Matt Shaw or something like that. I don't.
Would they want Matt Shaw and
but that's a team that is the whole talk is that they switched owners and that the whole new owner Rubenstein was going to bring an influx of money, and it's been the complete opposite. So the last thing that I see them doing is spending money on Suzuki in any way. They're not going to add like money into the system. They'll only
trade out of
$15
$15 million.
Well, regardless,
would they take an Owen Casey and a Jackson Wiggins for Rutschman at catcher?
They would. They're just very left-handed dominant right now in their system. Like they're growing them on trees right now.
But I like
between Kobe Mayo and Jackson Holiday.
Adley would be a great addition to our team.
It would solve our catching position for a couple of years. I do think he's a bounce-back candidate next year.
Yes.
He does play a little bit of first base. He's a switch hitter. So I think that's a little bit on the better. I think we can all agree the best, though, would be a Joe Ryan. I think the best would be a Joe Ryan type. I think that would be exciting.
Joe Ryan. Well, I think there's two names for best. I think there's two names for best. Joe Ryan is one because he could really anchor your pitching staff, and that's through 27 on arbitration. After Skubal, he's the next best pitcher. The Fernando Tatis thing by Nightingale is such a carrot over a bunny.
And why is he doing that?
I don't know, but if they're really desperate to unload money, would you rather have Tatis in right or would you rather have Tucker in right?
Tucker.
Okay, so but
one guy's a platinum, the best outfielder,
Yeah.
the best
I know
fielder
one's
in
a
all of
platinum
baseball.
glove.
I would say one already has his price figured out, right? Tatis is
Correct.
already a long-term.
You'd be taking that money.
You'd be taking that money on, which is I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head, but I'm you already know what that money is. Versus Tucker, you're competing with the open market, and it could be astronomical money that you're competing with the Dodgers and the Yankees. Or whatever.
New dollars is usually more dollars.
Yeah,
100%.
It's either 11 or 10 for $297. That's the remaining on Tatis. $297.
By comparison,
$297, but that's
by comparison to what Tucker's
similar.
probably going to get. I would say it's probably better. You have more control over him.
And he's younger.
He's younger.
And the other thing, too, if you don't want to spend $300 million on Tucker, well, here's $3 million less.
Listen, I did see him make a spectacular catch against the Cubs.
He's a great player. There's no doubt.
He's a very good fielder.
1,000%.
I would say this. Defensively, he is better than Kyle Tucker.
Yes, agreed.
Do we all agree on that?
I would agree.
But
Yes.
you're not signing somebody for their defensive prowess in right field.
No.
For the bat. Which bat's more guaranteed? I would still say it's Tatis for sure.
He's more electric.
Because of what the last 2 years have been for Tucker with the injuries and the thing. Like
Tatis is not a stranger to injury either.
No.
So Joseph has a good point. I didn't realize this. Tatis ramps up to $36 million a year quickly. So he must have had uneven money going out through the years. So if that changes your mind at all, that's 36 a year.
We're asking for a superstar. Right. That would be adding that.
Yeah.
To right field for a long time.
Joseph Croasdale's making a really interesting point here too as well. When we're talking about that type of money, why don't you, to also take words that you said a lot, why don't you just go spend it?
Yeah.
When you're saying you could have Tatis,
right?
You could just go and spend it on Kyle Schwarber.
Because Tatis is money and you're giving up tons of prospects.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not going to make Tatis my best. Okay. I'd put more Tatis in the good, to be honest with you, because of what it would cost and then what it would cost.
Mm-hmm. Where does Mackenzie Gore slide in with you for good, better, best? Is he a
Joe
better
Ryan
or is he
I'd
a better
rather
or
have
a best?
Mackenzie Gore than Tatis, to be honest with you.
Okay, but is he on pace for you with Joe Ryan? Or is he a tier below?
He's a tier below for me. He's a tier below for me. Joe Ryan, if he wasn't on the Twins, people would be talking about Joe Ryan a lot.
And I think he's honestly, at 29 years old, like about to come into his own. Like he's been good for the last 3 or 4 years. I kind of think his best days are still ahead of him, at least in the next 3-year window, which again, like the Chicago Cubs truly, after a 92-win season, and I understand there's some contracts, but there are, again, a lot of people in the chat love the prospects that are coming up. We're super excited about Cade Horton. We're over the moon excited about Pete Crow Armstrong. Yep. So we have veterans on this team, and we have young players that are still developing that could even reach a higher ceiling. The Chicago Cubs, we really have a 3-year window to do something special right now. And I just want us to go out there and try and seize it to the best of our ability. And some of these players via trade would make that happen.
Joe Ryan definitely would.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Ryan would. Tatis would. It's just you're going to have to mix some things around and create some different ways, and it would cost you 2 different ways. Craig says in the live YouTube chat, Tatis is a superstar. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Tatis is 26, turning 27 next. It's younger than Kyle Tucker. Also, I would believe if San Diego is wanting someone to pay all that money, it's not going to hurt as bad.
Don't have to give up as much. Okay.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
if they're saying just the contract and then your prospect return doesn't have to be as much because you're getting that, you're freeing it up a little bit.
Hold on. I mean, I don't know if he's like this level where this player was when he was traded, but it's similar to when the Rangers signed A-Rod and then soon realized they could not afford A-Rod. Yeah. Alfonso Soriano was still a highly thought of prospect when traded, even though the Yankees took on a fair amount of that contract. So I still think you'd have to give up something for Tatis.
Yeah, and first of all, and then when you talk Skubal and the other guys, it's like how highly rated are if these teams are looking for prospects back, which has become a crazy capital in Major League Baseball. Do the Cubs even have guys that are high enough up in the roster? Do you have to start to include more and more of their young guys that have already made appearances?
According to some of the reports of the trade deadline, no, they really don't. I mean, we here's what's interesting about it is I do like some of the guys in our system, but we do keep cycling through the same 4 or 5 guys. Yeah. After those 4 or 5 guys, like no one's really throwing bird cell out there. You know what I mean? No one's really saying, hey, what if we throw Jonathan Long into a trade? You know what I mean? So I get it that the 4 or 5 guys at the top are intriguing pieces for the Cubs, but after that, depth-wise in the system, Cubs probably need to do a better job in general when we want to start to bemoan like why we aren't spending. You know, that's why I keep pushing. Spend the money now and keep trying to work on developing your system because now's the time to do it. We're not even mentioning the specter of the report, which we'll probably do in a segment this week about PCA reopening contract negotiation talks. Do you really want to do 10 years of Tatis right now if you can get Schwarber for 5?
Well, that's the thing I was thinking.
Sort of where I'm at with that.
If we're, is there a point where you're kind of like let these young guns and young kids play and sign Dylan Cease and sign Kyle Schwarber, where you're spending only money and you got these young dudes that are, I mean, in some aspects that's the better plan versus, I know Skubal's awesome, but backing up the armored truck and giving Detroit whatever they want to get Skubal for 1 year. I do wonder if like signing someone like Cease and Schwarber for only money and keeping some of these guys might be the better play.
The never let it rest, in my opinion, has to be Skubal.
Yes.
Never let the conversation end until he's on another team or they've just told you flat out, there aren't enough players in your organization. We're never trading them to you. And then you still call them the next week and say, yeah, but what about this deal?
I was being more sarcastic about it, where the never let it rest is the Cubs and Marlins rumors are just never going to rest.
Well, the Alcantaras
never going to go away.
Never going to let it rest. We're never going to let it rest.
Tied to Cabrera and Alcantara, it's never going to let that rest. It's never going away.
All right, that's a pretty good list. I think we have certain guys that fall into each category. Mm-hmm. I think the never let it rest has to be Skubal. I think the good are the Mitch Kellers, the Sandy Alcantaras, and then you can move up to the better and the best, and you have Ryans and Gores, and you have
Ryans
and Gores, right? Like that's just the way it works. And frankly, none of them may add up to being better than just throwing the money at Kyle Schwarber and making it all right, bringing him home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, imagine just increasing that payroll and bringing it up to the luxury tax. And with some of the young studs you already have that we love, like Cade Horton on the planet, you can just insulate some of that young developing talent with bankable cost certainty elite assets. Imagine a world.
Okay. Yeah, Sean.
One final thing. Does it concern you when Passan puts out an article today talking about ideal offseason and he's not mentioning Schwarber for the Cubs? He's mentioning, I think, one of the pitchers from Japan, the 27-year-old.
Imai,
yeah. He mentioned Imai as the ideal for them. Does that worry you that it's not a Schwarber or a hitter?
No, because I don't think Schwarber's coming to the Cubs.
Yeah, I think
that's a dream by me.
I mean, you've been talking about it for a week, so.
Well, manifest.
Manifest. It's a fantasy at this point.
My gut would tell me if I'm putting my life savings on it, it would be Philadelphia. But I would say there are only two teams that are going to be in the market for Kyle Schwarber, or I'm sorry, that he would even go to. And for me, it's probably the Phillies or the Cubs. I don't see him going to Seattle. You know what I'm saying? I think
what about back to Boston?
I mean,
what if the Mets just throw insane money at him because their owner's like, here you go, here's your 500.
He's just a high character guy that he loves Philadelphia, obviously, and he loves Chicago.
Listen, I'm a high character guy, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I win the Mega Millions tonight, bye-bye CHGO.
But let's say all the money is equal for a second. I think our situation right now is better than what Boston has going on.
Agreed.
And my thing I would just say if I had a beer or some nachos with Kyle Schwarber, I would just tell him, what is Philadelphia's future over the next 3 years? I mean, is Zach Wheeler health provided, right? That was really scary. He got knocked out like late in the season. Castellanos, they're going to have to move on from him. Harper, the GM doesn't think that he's elite anymore. True. JT Realmuto's coming up on money.
They're aging.
That is a roster that is, if not aging, but beginning to crest and perhaps what their potential is. And I would start selling Kyle Schwarber not only about coming home, but we do legitimately have some young pieces on this team, along with a veteran core that can make a lot lot That would be my pitch to him.
It would be his team. It would be his team.
Kyle Schwarber. And then when all the money was equal, I would slip an extra $20 million on the table.
Same.
All right.
Whoops. Fell out of my pocket.
Speaking of fan favorites, Schwarbs was unquestionably a fan favorite. Yes. Kyle Hendricks. Have you ever met a Cubs fan that didn't say, man, I loved Kyle Hendricks? Now, they might have gotten tired of his career at the end and said, oh, he's out of gas. He's not the guy. But have you ever met a Cubs fan that was like, I just don't like Kyle Hendricks. No. Not enough energy. But nobody cared that he was the guy that was just straight as a line.
Great guy.
Game 7.
Yep.
Also knocked out the Dodgers, right? Mm-hmm. And so he announces his retirement all but 1 year in a Cubs uniform. Kyle Hendricks, remember, came in the trade for Ryan Dempster from the Rangers.
Only because Dempster vetoed the original trade.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan Dempster.
Yes. He was supposed to go to Atlanta for Randall Delgado, I want to say.
Yes, I believe so.
And then Dempster said, no, I don't want to go there. He wanted Dodgers.
With my family, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, and the Dodgers didn't want him or whatever, and so somehow they worked out a deal to Texas, and thankfully we got Kyle Hendricks.
So with just a couple minutes left, I ask this question. Where does Kyle Hendricks land in the best trades in Chicago Cubs history? Number 1. Rhino.
Agreed.
1,000%.
Okay?
Yep.
Arrieta's got to be 2, 3, or 4.
Well, also
Arrieta, it was for a bucket of it was a bucket of baseballs, and they got Strop and Arrieta.
That's the thing.
Don't win the World Series without him.
Yes.
He won 2 World Series games. Yep. I'd go Rhino Arrieta.
I have Sosa as number 2 for George Bell and Arrieta 3.
Okay, so those are
the top 3, I think, no matter what.
Those 3 are in there. Rizzo.
I have it
for
number
Andrew
4.
Kashner. Okay, that's easily 4. You traded for Sutcliffe in '84. You should have been in the World Series, and he was a Cy Young. Yeah. Sutcliffe's got to be in the top 5, in my opinion.
He went, like 14-0 or something like that?
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
And I understand it was a small sample size, but at the same time, what that meant to future Cubs generations and you guys growing up, I think it's one of the great trades of all time.
It's a hat. It's an 84.
There it is.
That's why I fell in love with the team because of that.
So we got Rhino, Arrieta, Sutcliffe, Rizzo, Sammy. There's 5.
And you can argue about the order, but those are the top 5.
Those are the 5. Sure. Now, here's some other ones that come up, though. Outside of Hendricks. Aramis Ramirez.
That's a good one.
And with Kenny Lofton.
Yeah. Bobby Hill. What a trade.
Oh, wow. Great trade. D. Lee for Hesop Choi.
Great trade.
Good one. Good one.
What are we going to say about PCA someday?
Oh, that's going to be...
I had him crack the top 10 right now.
PCA for letting Javi go.
At the end of the day, that might crack the top 5 when it's all said and done. I mean, if he's the player that he's shown flashes of being, that could be a top 5 trade.
And if he doesn't, he could slide all the way out of the top 10. He really could. I could see either one of them still possibly happening. Now, this is one Joey and I threw out there real quick. Aroldis Chapman.
I mean... You don't win the World Series without his left arm.
Okay, then he's in the top 10.
No regrets.
He's in the top 10 for me. Yep. And so for me, that is, I believe, 9. I say Kyle Hendricks is, yes, top 10.
Really? Okay.
He's not a Cubs Hall of Famer right now, but he is a long-tenured Cub who started the biggest game in baseball history. Forget what you just saw this fall. And a guy who sent them to the World Series. How could he not be in the top 10?
I was lucky enough to be at both those games. And I mean, and the cool thing about it too is I remember going into Game 7 of the World Series, everyone's all worried about the rookie, you know, but like, or not, but the young kid, but ultimately like his demeanor never changed.
Yeah.
Whether it was a spring training game or Game 7 of the World Series, the dude was just stoic and he was never phased. And there's something about that. He could be stoic but have ice in his veins, and I think that's what Kyle Hendricks was.
Yeah, demeanor never changed. This is my favorite stat so far. So Kyle Hendricks finished 104th this season in fastball, four-seam fastball at 86.5 miles per hour. Other notables on there, by the way, 98 Shota Imanaga at 90.8. Ranger Suarez, free agent that's tied to the Cubs, 91.3. Merrill Kelly, 91.8 at 89. 104th in baseball. In 2016, when he finished second in the Cy Young, where did he finish? 105th.
Wow.
105th at 90.2 miles per hour, right next to Bartolo Colon. And then my other favorite part was there was only 3 pitchers this season that qualified for a fastball that was under 90 miles an hour. In 2016, 14 pitchers qualified for a fastball under 90 miles an hour. Just sees how the game has changed.
Yeah.
And
Velocity.
It's changed, and Kyle Hendricks hasn't changed at all, and yet he had success after all these years. It's so impressive.
His emotion hasn't changed since he started throwing here. So finally this. Congratulations to Kyle Hendricks. You're an all-time Cub.
Yep.
And now I hope you will come back to the organization and be a big part of the Cubs front office,
Professor.
coaching
He's a
staff,
professor.
or
Yeah.
whatever you want to be. Maybe you want to be part of the CHGO Cubs podcast. That's available too.
Come on.
If you want to come on.
I'll leave. No, I'm saying.
Come on down.
Thanks for checking out the
We can fit
CHGO
4 in
Cubs
here.
podcast.
Stop it.
That's right. We are back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thanks to Justin for jumping in on Tuesday as always. Joey for jumping in. Sean and for running the show. And until tomorrow, thanks for watching and fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.